Willkommen auf Broadleaf Junkie. Ich mach's kurz und knackig. Kommt mit auf eine Reise, lernt die Leute hinter den Zigarren, die ihr und ich gerne rauchen, kennen. Viel Spaß. Die meisten von euch werden, wenn auch unbewusst, schon Aganorsa Tabake oder Aganorsa Zigarren geraucht haben. Die Marke Aganorsa Leaf selber ist allerdings relativ jung und dem einen oder anderen vielleicht auch noch gar nicht bekannt. Wie es zu dem neuen Markenauftritt von ehemals Casa Fernandes kam, das erzählt euch Terence jetzt selber.
So, maybe you just introduce yourself. Tell us for what brand you are here and how do you came into this business? What's your passion about it? And
Sure.
that's the idea.
Okay.
So please, Mr.
So
Cameron.
I'm VP of Sales and Marketing for Aganorsa Leaf. Aganorsa Leaf is one of the largest brands of tobacco growers in Nicaragua. They sell tobacco to Fuente and J.C. Newman and True Estate and all sorts of companies. And I've been doing that for the last 8 years with Aganorsa. How I got into the business was my uncle is a gentleman named Manuel Quesada. Terence Reilly is my name, but Terence Reilly is what we call a Gringo name. That's a white guy's name. It's not a Latin name. But my father, his mother was a Quesada from Cuba, and so part of my family, through my grandmother, is in the cigar business out of the Dominican Republic. And I went to go work for my uncle, Manuel Quesada. Years ago, when I was very young, I went to the factory for a summer. I didn't even smoke. I just was down there to have a good time, and I thought it would be fun to work in a cigar factory. And so I spent the summer there, but on Sundays, I'd go to my uncle's house. They'd have lunch, and they would have some drinks, and they'd be playing cards, and everyone was smoking a cigar. And so I said, oh, what the hell, I'm the only one not smoking a cigar, let's have a cigar. So I started having a cigar. And then I really came to appreciate working at the factory. One, the amount of work that goes into the cigars, how many people are involved to make it go right. They put too much glue on the band and it tears the wrapper. The person doesn't go, everyone did a great job, but one person made a mistake. They go, this is a bad cigar. Mm-hmm. So you really come to appreciate how many people have to do the right thing in order for you to have a great experience enjoying the cigar. So that was really cool to see. There's very few industries that are still like that, artisanal. And then those Sundays at my uncle's house were just so much fun. I was sitting around, talking, having a good time. And so I did that summer. And then a couple of years later, when I was a little bit older, my uncle said, hey, listen, we need somebody in the United States. It's a family business. Would you like to work with us? And I moved back to the Dominican Republic, and I spent almost a year down there really learning the business that time. The first time it was more kind of just for fun.
Yeah.
And then I worked for my uncle for 8 or 9 years, and then I left and I came to Aganorsa. So that's so I have family business.
What did you do before?
So I am trained to be a Latin teacher. I'm a classics major, so I studied Latin and Greek, and I wanted to do a PhD originally, but after I did my master's, I kind of said, well, I got like probably 6 more years of doing this. And by the way, the best ones are all German, so I was already competing against some really great people, and so I said, I don't know if I want to take the time to get a PhD, a doctorate.
Okay.
So I came back to the States. I did that in England. I went to England for grad school. So I came back to the United States and I taught Latin for a couple of years. And so I did that. And then I met my wife and she was a teacher as well. And the United States teachers, are barely above the poverty level. So somebody had to make money. And I worked for Carnival Cruise Lines as a sales rep. So I sold cruise trips. And I actually did quite well at that. It was initially a little bit of a step backwards when I got into the cigar side, but that training from Carnival was a great experience. So it was really useful when I started in the cigar side, and then I worked for my uncle, and I became the sales manager over there, and then I left in 2017 and I joined Aganorsa.
How did you end up at Casa Fernandes or
Aganorsa? So at the time it was called Casa Fernandes. So really, if you had asked me where I was going to end up, I would have never told you Casa Fernandes. It was really a coincidence that a gentleman that had worked with us as a sales rep for us when I was at Casada. He had retired, but he had gone to high school with Eduardo Fernandez, the owner of the brand, and he had come back in the business to kind of help him to sell, and he lived in Virginia, in the Virginia market. And so when he saw that I left, he called me and he said, "Hey, listen, we would really like to talk to you. Eduardo needs somebody in the United States who does what you do, and they don't have that currently." I took the interview out of politeness, really. Like he was a great guy. And, what the heck? It doesn't hurt to hear what somebody has to say. But the more I learned about the company, the more impressed I was. They grow tobacco, which is highly regarded. It's, over the years they've sold it to all sorts of Padron. As I said, Drew Estate, Fuente is a big buyer from us. Altadis, the makers of the non-Cuban Romeo and Julieta. And then we made brands like Illusion, Warp cigars.
But did they already had their own brand?
Yes, so they had their own brand, but their brand was not well known. So the brands they made for other people were better known. And for me, that's a marketing problem, because it would be like if everybody knew who Ashton was and had never heard of Fuente. That doesn't make any sense. Like they're making the cigar for them, and so for me, that was something I could help with, because that was always the key thing. Is like, can I contribute? Because if you join a company and you're not good at what they need, or they don't listen for whatever reason, you're just going to be spinning your wheels, and then it's not going to work. So I kind of said to them, "Listen, I think I can help you, but I think you're going to have to do things very differently than how you're doing them, and if that's not something you're comfortable with, then we shouldn't go any further." But they said, "Yes, no, we realize we need to do things differently." And to their credit, they really allowed me to make a lot of changes and hire people, because it's always a team. You need people. Like, nobody can do it alone. And so we've got a great team was brought on, and ever since then it's been growth.
So basically, you had a big part in rebranding to Aganorsa too.
Correct. Yes, that was really the primary thing I was brought in. It was one to rebrand it and promote it, and also bring in people to sell it that we're going to do a good job, and we're going to represent it correctly, and we're going to bring. What you're always looking for is passion. Like we say, the only metric of success is passion for the product. So if somebody says to you, "Hey, have you heard of Aganorsa?" and you go, "Oh yeah, they're okay," that's death. That doesn't sound like a brand I want to try. It would be better if you said they're the worst brand I've ever heard of, because
there's passion.
Yeah, there's passion in it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
worse. Well,
I gotta try that. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
But what you really want, obviously, is them to say, "Oh, Aganorsa, I love those cigars. I love the Supreme Leaf. I love the Rare Leaf. I love the JFR. You got to try them." And that is how cigars sell. Is that passion has to transfer from the factory down to our team in sales, to the retailer, to the consumer. And if you can lose it at any stage. So we've got to work with our retail partners, make sure that they're excited about it, so that they go and then talk to the consumer, and then the consumers talk to other consumers. And that's really all we're trying to do. We're trying to bring our story to people in a way that resonates. So that they then share the story with others with that same passion.
In that, how important are like reviews, ratings, social media, and so on for you as a brand?
So yes is the answer. You try to do everything. You try to get good ratings. You try to work with retail partners for events. You social media. We have a Facebook group, Aganorsa Acolytes, 4,000 members throughout the world. YouTube. We have a YouTube channel with videos of how we grow the tobacco. Our Cuban agronomists that we brought over from Cuba and their story. Rolling contests where I try to roll a cigar against one of our rollers. I lose. But all that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Just to ruin the video, I lose very badly. So all those types of things are important, and we try to do it. We try to do it all, because different things resonate with different people. Sometimes they say, "Oh, that YouTube channel, I cited the video on this brand, and it was really interesting, so I bought." "Oh, I cited that you were rated by Cigar Snob magazine, #2 cigar of the year." "Oh, that made me interested." So you don't know exactly what is going to work, so you try to be very diverse in your efforts to attract as many people as possible.
Yeah. You try to be diverse. Is this as a statement just for the way you advertise for it, or is it also something you have in mind when you blend or let blend cigars?
So Aganorsa, that's a great question. Aganorsa is sort of like a whiskey bar. There's all different types of scotch, for instance.
Yeah.
And there's peated, non-peated, sherry cask. What you like some scotches more than other scotches. But if you like scotch, and I have a bottle of scotch, and you've never had the one I have, and I say, would you like to try this? It's not going to taste like vodka. It's going to taste like scotch.
Yeah.
So the advantage and disadvantage of Aganorsa is that we kind of stick within a profile range. There's all different ones. You'll like some more than others, but you have a comfort level with Aganorsa, like at a Scotch bar. Everything there is something that you're fundamentally interested in. You'll try this one. You'll try that one. This one's your favorite. This one's okay, but it's never gonna. You're not gonna drink it, and it's gonna be vodka. So Aganorsa, on the good side, if you like Aganorsa, you can try a lot of our stuff with comfort that you're going to enjoy it to some varying levels.
Yeah.
On the downside, we don't have vodka and gin and rum. So if you don't like our signature profile, we're not for you. But that's okay. What we do a low medium to a full flavored cigar with complexity and balance really, really well. We don't do blow your head off strong, and we don't have super mild. So we don't have a cigar for everybody. And that's okay. So if somebody's like, I like something that's a lot lighter than what you guys do, great. Maybe it's your cigar journey changes, will become something that you're interested in. Like again, use the Scotch analogy. Usually peated Scotch isn't your first Scotch, like that's not the first one you try or get into or makes you like Scotch. But as you start drinking Scotch, you get into it more, and you start mixing in peat in there, or maybe never. I don't know. But our purpose is basically we do this really well. If this is what you like, you got to come to us. We have a signature flavor that nobody else has, so you're gonna be in our camp if we're right for you. But we don't have something for everybody. So we're a little bit more narrow in that regard than in the overall marketing, which is more intended to attract people that will enjoy our blend in different ways.
How would you describe the signature taste in Aganorsa cigars?
So that signature flavor comes from two seed varietals from two regions primarily. It's from Corojo 99, which is a Cuban seed hardly anyone grows anymore because it has low yield. So it's not, from a profitability perspective, farmers don't want to grow it because they can grow something else and make more money. So we're the last major grower of it in the world. And then Criollo 98 from Esteli. Criollo 98 from Esteli is very quintessential Nicaraguan tobacco. So we have this kind of quintessential Nicaraguan tobacco mixed with the Corojo 99, which is really distinctive to us. So we're the synthesis of clearly a Nicaraguan cigar with a unique characteristic that isn't in other Nicaraguan cigars.
What is this unique characteristic?
So
what would you describe it?
So I would say the things about our cigars that you're almost always going to get, they make you salivate. Like they're not going to dry your palate. So some tobacco will dry. You're going to salivate. You're going to get not aggressive spice, but you're going to get some spice through the nose if you retrohale, and even on the tip of your tongue if you don't. You'll get a little tingle, And then a clean finish, nothing that hangs in the palate that's going to linger in there. And then a little bit of earth and a little bit of salt on the roof of your if you smoke one of our cigars, you rub your tongue to the roof of your palate, roof of your mouth, you'll get a little salt. And those are kind of the key characteristics that you'll find. And now again, the cigar is much more complex than that. But those are like every cake has butter and sugar. You'll always taste those. Every Aganorsa cigar, you're going to get those kind of characteristics. Salvatory, little spice, little earth, and then balance. It's going to hit the whole palate.
Nice. Yeah. I would have also included a little bit of sourness I always have with the earthy notes, but okay. Yeah. So everybody...
Part of the fun is, one of the things we do is, it's more important what you get out of it than what I get out of it. I can tell you stuff all day long.
Of course.
You're the only expert of your palate. And different palates are going to get different things. So that's, we kind of keep it simple in regard to the things that everybody should experience, and then people will get other notes as well.
Okay. What is it you would say the cigar culture as a whole is, or what is the most interesting part of it?
The most interesting part is that nobody can agree on anything anymore. You say the sky is blue. Somebody says, well, not before sunset, it turns pink or purple, and nobody agrees.
Earth is flat.
Yeah, Earth is flat. Nobody can agree on anything. But you take people of all different types, and you throw cigars in the mix, everybody gets along. And it's the most amazing thing. It's the only reason to be in this business. This is a very difficult business. Government's coming after you every which way. There's all sorts of problems. You're dealing with countries that often have political issues and things like that. It's not easy. But what makes it special is that camaraderie that cigars create. If you're sitting at, on a park bench and somebody sees you're smoking a cigar, somebody might go, "Oh, hey, what's that? Hey, you like that cigar? Hey, let me give you one of mine." And that's a normal thing. If I was at a bar and somebody came up to me and said, "Is that an old fashioned? Oh, you like bourbon? Here, try this one." And they gave me a drink. I would think, is this guy trying to take my wallet or something? It would be unusual for that to happen.
Yeah.
That somebody, a stranger, would certainly not only talk to you, but get you, give you something, right? With cigars, that would be a totally normal thing. To be someplace, somebody sees you smoking. Oh, hey, what's that? Oh, yeah, you like that one? Here, try one of mine. So that's really what's special about the cigars, and that's what makes the industry different than any other industry out there. It's a unique business because it has that ability to bring people together the way no other thing that I know of does.
Yeah, I would totally agree to that. Yeah, also dialogue.
Yeah.
Very interesting
people
because
talk.
you already have one common ground.
Yeah, and again, at a cigar shop, you'll see the CEO of a company sitting with a guy that does manual labor, and they're talking, and those two would not necessarily talk otherwise. But in the cigar shop, they both like cars. Where this one works on cars, and I'll bring in my car to work on. And it just creates those moments that really, at the end of the day, as far as we know, we only got one shot at this.
Yeah.
So we got to enjoy it, and that's what I want. I don't want to argue with strangers on the internet about stuff. I want to enjoy my time while I have it, and cigars just really create that opportunity the way nothing else does.
Since you mentioned governments, they're already trying to regulate and kind of, destroy a bit of this culture, even though I don't think that you can destroy passion.
No, yeah, exactly.
So, do you think this will have an impact on this culture, community, and the brands itself?
So I think if anything, from the beginning of the last 100 years, there's been some sort of problem either with governments or with whatever for cigars. There's always been something, and we're all still here. And to be honest with you, if they made it totally illegal, it would probably be the best thing for us all. We'd make a fortune. They tried to do that in the United States with booze in the 20s, and people drank more than ever. It didn't go away. So I think the more you try to regulate it, I think the more you get resistance and people try to enjoy. Oh, I'm not supposed to do what? And now people want to try. I was talking to our Belgian distributor, and there are more and more laws in Belgium. It's got to go behind glass. You can't see the cigars. You can't smoke it. And they said the demand has increased because people. Oh, I can't do what? Oh, that's something that I'm not supposed to do. Oh, okay. And it's telling people they can't do stuff is the great way to get them to try it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's a little bit of rebellion in it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that's the nature of humanity.
Of course. Yeah. You're here for, I think, the third year in a row.
Yes.
You're on the.
This is the third show.
EU and German market now for 3 years.
3 years, yes.
How it's going?
It's going great. I'll tell you the stereotype for Europe and the international market as a whole was always you come to Dortmund. The first year you'll meet some people, shake hands. Nothing will really happen. The next year. You'll get a couple orders here and there. The third, and it's like a 5-year process before you really start doing any business.
Okay.
When we came, I think with the nature of Cuban cigars becoming harder and harder to get and more expensive, it really opened up opportunity that was not there before. And from this day one when we showed up here, we've been selling. If we could ship faster, we'd sell even more. So it's been a huge success. It's a great, again, this show is a great, people from all over the world, and you get a chance to see them all, and they're ordering cigars, it's been amazing.
Okay, nice. So there is new stuff coming, I think.
Yeah.
There's something in the making too, something you personally are extremely excited about, maybe?
Yeah, well, I'm always interested, as I'm smoking now, in our Supreme Leaf for the international market. I love these, and we're going to be introducing our GFR, which is a big brand in the United States, the 20th anniversary edition of it. So that's coming as well, and that's been a huge hit for us in the States. So I'm interested to see how it sells in the international community.
Okay, cool. I think I'm out of questions. If you want to add something, please tell me.
Yeah, no, one of our things is creating those connections. So if you're watching or listening, Aganorsa Acolytes on Facebook, please join our YouTube channel, Aganorsa Leaf. Great videos. Let us know what you think of I'm not that smart. What I do is I listen to our consumers and I take their ideas and pass them off as my own, and that's been very successful for me. So please, I can't do it without. We need to hear. Hey, I love that new Supreme Leaf International. It's the best. Or hey, I hate you. You ruined my life. Why did you make that cigar? We listen to. Hopefully not that, but we listen to feedback, because if we hear it often enough, we know we have to do something different, or we know we're doing the right thing. And so I always ask our consumers out there that if this is the first time they're hearing me, like, don't make this be a one-time meeting. Even if you start smoking a cigar, we want to hear from you, because that's how we get better.
All right. Well, thank you.
Dankeschön.
Die nächste Erhöhung der Tabaksteuer kommt. Aber noch können wir über den unten aufgezeigten Link uns an die EU-Kommission wenden und dem gegenüber argumentieren, dass Zigarren als Genussmittel anders zu betrachten sind als Zigaretten und sie dementsprechend von dieser Steuererhöhung ausgenommen werden. Guckt es euch an, kommentiert. Gemeinsam können wir es schaffen, dass uns dieses Genussmittel in den aktuellen Preiskategorien und in der aktuellen Besteuerung erhalten bleiben. Danke euch. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, guckt euch gerne die anderen Videos an. Liked, teilt, kommentiert, wenn ihr wollt, folgt mir und genießt eine gute Zigarre.